Hi guys, and welcome to this update video. My channel has been inactive for a while, as you guys are probably well aware, and I just wanted to make this kind of short video to discuss where I've been, why the content had stopped, as life has been kind of crazy recently. So I just wanted to sort of give you guys the decency of sort of running through things and sort of explaining why, again, the content sort of paused for a while, and now, of course, why I want to start again and what the plan's going to be for 2025. So first things first, main reason I stopped recording is because the Rennsport season has started up again, and just with the way that Rennsport operates at the moment, the whole grid are sort of fighting for performance and FPS. It's been a consistent struggle since the game's release. The game just doesn't run as smoothly as other games like iRacing, for example, where recording and playing at the same time is a massive hit on performance, and it's something that we can't afford at this kind of level, to drop 20, 30 FPS and increase any kind of micro stuttering that we're already kind of battling with. So I really had a hard time being able to record and compete at the same time. Of course, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to sort of record my POVs and sort of talk over the top of it and explain to you guys what was going through my head at that moment, what I was feeling with the car, the ongoing battles, the situations that we were in, but I just wasn't able to sort of do that really, and it was painful to sort of have to pick competing over the content. But of course, as you guys understand, this is my full-time job. Content is just a little bit of fun that I do on the side to try and document things, and it would give me something to look back on when I retire and things like that. But yeah, ultimately it just wasn't really possible. I'm hoping that this season things will change a little bit. I'll get on to that a little bit later on, but that's kind of the main reason. Trying to use the replay system as well to record it after the fact and then record over the top of it. It's the replay tool was just far too clunky. It's really difficult to sort of give you guys a proper idea of what things are like in that moment. The replay tool was just far too clunky, and it just I wasn't happy with the quality that it would have turned out as. The other reason was my partner got pregnant, so ended up having my son Joshua in October. So outside of the competition stuff, as you can imagine, fairly busy off the track, so I didn't really have the time to dedicate as well to put into making good content for you guys alongside the competition, because of course practicing and the other things that I had to do at Apex when I was at work just meant that when I was done with work, with all the Apex stuff, I had to come home and help my girlfriend and everything else, and sort of prepare myself as best as possible to become a dad. So that was the other reason. Thankfully everything went well with the birth. Josh is doing really well, Beth's doing really well. We've all sort of taken to it really well, and the whole family's doing great. Skylar's been a really great big sister to Josh as well. She's been a big help. So yeah, I'm hoping now that things are kind of settled down, we've gotten into a bit of a routine, that that's another reason why content can start again. Moving on to the next one, as you guys have probably noticed, my background is a little bit different. I'm not in the Apex team room anymore, and the reason for that is I decided to leave Apex. Really, really tough decision. I was with the team for almost 9 years. No, it would have been 8 years in when would it have been? 8 years in March, 8 years in May, somewhere around there. But if you include my time with the academy before then, it was over 8 years with Apex, and it was the only team I'd ever been on during my professional career, and it was the team that I planned to retire with. But as time goes along, things change, priorities change. There was a multitude of reasons for leaving Apex. To give a bit of clarity on the reasons why, first and foremost is of course financial reasons. When you have a little one come into the world, your financials become a lot more under pressure, shall we say. And I had a couple offers on the table from other teams. I'd started looking around in the summer of 2024 into the sort of autumn of 2024 is when I started looking for teams, and credit to Apex and especially Alex. I was very open with Alex when I started having offers coming through. I was like, here's the offer I've been given, this is the money they've offered, this is the opportunities I can get from moving team. And as I say, credit to them, he was like, I'm not going to sort of stand in your way. The Apex and I left on really great terms. We had a lot of open communication, a lot of honesty about what each party was wanting and kind of where Apex targets were going to be for 2025, what their sort of priorities were going to be and things like that, and they just didn't really match up with what I wanted to do. We had a couple of years on Rennsport together, and I had a lot of success. The team, we did well, but ultimately the goal is to fight for the championship, be that drivers championship or teams. For me personally, I don't care if I won the drivers or the teams. If I won a championship, I'm just going to be happy to be winning the championship, right? So just with the position that Apex was in, and as I say, the focus that they were wanting to aim on for this season, it just didn't really match up with mine, so the timing just sort of felt right. It does still feel strange to me. It's been over a month now since I officially left, and it does still just feel a little bit weird. Like it's, if you've been with someone for 8 years or with a team for 8 years, you can't just sort of turn it off straight away. So yeah, I have since joined Virtus.pro, if you guys haven't seen on my social medias. Yeah, as I say, we had a good chats with a good few teams, and sort of Virtus came out of nowhere right at the last minute with an offer that I couldn't say no to, and offered the opportunity to partner up with Dara, which is something that I'd been targeting for a long time. And I really do feel like we've built a squad that is capable of fighting for the team's championship, and for myself really being able to be pushed a little bit harder as well, and sort of push me towards that sort of top 5, top 3 in the drivers championship that I've been wanting to aim for, and get myself in a championship contention. But also taking a step forward in the team's championship, which of course is an absolutely massive part for me, is that there's a huge focus on the team's championship in Rennsport. The prize pool is 4 times as big in the team's championship compared to the drivers, and of course these teams are wanting to make as much money as they can and get as many eyes on themselves and please the sponsors and whatever else. So if you can do well in the team's championship, that's a huge benefit to yourself and also your team. So I think the squad that we built, along with Wojtek Fiala and Mikhail Statsenko, I think so far it's still early days, still getting used to each other and sort of integrating ourselves into the new system, but things are looking really positive, and I really am feeling like 2025 could be a year where we fight for the championship. So yeah, it was a long process moving from Apex. I think I was probably in contract negotiations for at least 6 months with a multitude of different teams, and a large part of that for me was trying to decide what I wanted out of it as well. Something that, if I'm going to leave Apex, I want to make sure that I'm not going to take a step backwards in terms of my own happiness and satisfaction and things like that. So it was a really tough choice, took a long time, and have that on top of my partner being pregnant at the time. Doing content again was just almost impossible. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, you can probably tell the background is different. Of course, leaving Apex also meant that I had to move house. So I've moved out of Apex and moved in with my girlfriend. We've managed to get ourselves a nice house, which we're really excited about. It gives us space for the kids, for me to have my own office and be able to work from home and be more involved in the kids' lives as well. So I'm not having to commute to work and be out of the house for 10 hours a day or however long it would be. I can compete from home and still be involved and be there and be supportive, which is a really important part for us. So getting the house sorted was also a big stress, as well as trying to finalise contract negotiations and obviously discussing money and contract lengths and things like that, and then also trying to move house and then having to buy my own sim. Yeah, a lot of expenditures in the last few months, and it's probably been the most stressful 3 months of my life, I think, without a doubt. Even getting in the rig at points was difficult because of all the stuff we had to do off track. So I'm sure you guys can imagine that's everything that I've just explained. That's why the content has stopped. There's been 3 or 4 reasons why, and they all sort of happened at the same time, and it just became, yeah, almost impossible to keep on track of. Even competing was difficult. There was points where, you know, I was really off the pace and didn't have the time to dedicate into practice that I wanted to, and of course the results in Saudi Arabia specifically weren't exactly where I wanted them to be. So yeah, we are getting there. We've got ourselves settled in the house. My pace is looking really good on the new Rennsport build. There will be a video coming on that soon, on sort of where Rennsport is in 2025, and I'll also be making a video as well on sort of how contract negotiations work from my own personal standpoint. As again, I've not got a huge amount of experience in it because, as I say, I'd never left Apex before December, but it was my sort of first experience in dealing with esports teams and sim racing teams and negotiating contracts and things like that, and kind of what my experiences were for the first time, kind of really doing it since the sport is blowing up to where this is now a full-time career option. So that's kind of the plan for the channel in the near future. Of course, throughout 2025 we are wanting to create content throughout the span of the entire year, so I'm not going to lock down on an upload schedule quite yet, but I'm aiming for a video every 2 weeks ish. But I'm not going to say this is definitely going to happen, because obviously ultimately competition and family come first. The content will always sort of linger behind a little bit. I'm also wanting to start streaming again, so getting maybe 2 days a week on Twitch and potentially YouTube. I might multi-stream, I don't know. I need to kind of look into that and see. Let me know what you guys think below. Would you rather watch me on Twitch, or would you rather watch me on YouTube, or are you not fussed? So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. I've kind of rambled on for long enough. I don't want to take too much more of you guys' time. I just kind of wanted to give you guys the decency of explaining to you guys where I was and the reasons why, and now what the plans are going forward. Now that we're settled in the home, we're settled with Josh and he's progressing really well, I can now really hunker down and focus on competition and content where possible. So I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully this has explained everything. Again, if you've got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to answer them, and I hope to see you guys in 2 weeks with a new video. Thanks for watching.